Let's go ahead and start with the first example. It's called the secure HTTP using the TLS listen. Okay. Listen L there being capital. So this is to contrast the regular listening socket. The way we create the listening socket is by calling net.listen. Again, listen there, L being capital. And this is for those who took the native string approach for PA7 and PA8, where you read one string at a time or write the HTTP responses one string at a time. Okay, so let's start a file. Okay, and let's name it sec string response.go. Yeah, you probably guessed this is the secure string response.go example. And so don't be surprised, it looks very much like the string response.go in PA8. The only line being different in the header part, so package main, importing bunch of packages, and then the check function, okay, to do the panic check. The only line being new is just this. Okay, so we're importing a new package called the crypto/TLS. Yeah, no surprise here either, because we're calling the TLS sockets. Therefore, these APIs to create the TLS socket, control TLS socket, is defined in the TLS package. Now, in the main function, there's slightly more differences. So these two lines, completely new. All right, so these two lines are there to configure the public key file, the private key file, to the TLS socket. All right. We'll go through the code in a little bit. Okay, so we'll take the code walkthrough a little bit later. Let's quickly go through the example. Right. Now, these look familiar again, right? So, format print line launching server. Okay, creating the listening socket, close the listening socket by deferring to the end of the process. Okay, getting a call from the client. ln.accept, accepting the call. Okay, and deferring closing of the socket, the data socket, at the end of the process. So the TLS.listen, okay, is the one being different. Previously, this API was simply net.listen. And by calling TLS.listen, be very careful, because we need to tell the public key and the private key to the TLS socket. So that is done here. By adding one more parameter, it's the config, okay, objects pointer. And the config object is already assigned here by calling, okay, TLS.config. And the cert here, the certificate or the public key, is actually established, calling the load X509 key pair. So this is to load the key pair, the public and the private key, to the certificate. And then the certificate here is defined into the config, the object. And the config object here is later, okay, being used to specify, okay, the listening socket. And that listening socket is now secure. As a result, all the subsequent socket created is going to use the share key there being exchanged here to ensure transmission of secrets. Now, all these lines, okay, subsequently in the main function remain the same. Running of the example is very similar to the examples in PA8. The only two minor differences are these. After we start the server process, the sec string response.go, we use curl again, the command line web browser, to try to fetch an arbitrary web object. But this time we use the -k there in addition. So the entire line we will actually type up from the client side is curl -k. Okay? And to add to that, we are now doing what? Secure HTTP. So make sure that you specify the protocol HTTPS : / and then the URL. If we did not specify HTTPS there, the protocol, by typing just 127.0.0.1 column port number, the default is the not secure HTTP. Okay, so make sure you type up the whole string here, okay, while doing the testing. And yeah, this example is going to just show, okay, what's in the data part of the response message, which is file not found. And then we return to the prompt.